Hey guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through my first steps in the planning process of my Gather Round Homeschool units. So the first thing I do is I go to Pinterest and I create a board for whatever the unit is going to be. And I start to just look for absolutely anything that has to do with that unit, and I just start pinning it. So yeah, it's going to make a board that is full of tons of things about that topic. But what's going to happen is as I get further into the planning process, I can take those and weed out the things I don't want to do just by deleting them from my board. But I do like to up front pin anything that has to do with it. That way, if I need an idea, I've got all those ideas there. And who doesn't love looking through Pinterest anyway? It's a lot of fun. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I typed in a couple of different things. I did invention activities for kids. I typed in famous inventors. I'll type in the search bar a couple of different things because you're always going to get different results. And then, like I said, I look at it. If it looks like something cool or something I want to check out later, I'm going to go ahead and store that in that pin, or I'm going to pin it on that board. And it's very helpful. It's good to have all those things there so that as I'm looking at a lesson, I can say, oh, I think I pinned something about that. And I can go look, and sometimes the pins are a flop and they're not anything that I want to use, but sometimes they're actually very helpful. And I did find some really neat things. I found some anchor charts, I found some activities, I found interesting books to read. I just look for different things like that. Movies, experiments, anything that I can find that goes with the topic. It goes straight onto that board, and you can weed through it later. So don't get overwhelmed. Know that you can go back and take those things off that you're not going to use and leave the things that are going to serve your family well. So this is how I plan on Pinterest. The next step in my planning process is to go inside of our Google Classroom and set up a topic. So the topic, of course, is going to be the name of the unit. So for us, it's Inventions and Ideas. And so I do this for each topic that we use for Gather Round. After you set up the topic, you can then create assignments. And so I just label the assignments the lesson number usually, but for some reason I got creative this time and went ahead and put the title along with it. I'm not sure why I'm struggling to type things in today, but you'll notice that in the video. I struggled with the typing. So I'm just labeling the name of the lesson, and I'm also going to be able to go in there and make sure I choose the topic. Once you name the lesson, please go and choose the topic, or your lesson is going to be floating around in your Google Classroom. So each time you create an assignment, you are going to want to go down to topic and select the topic that it goes under so that it puts it in the correct place. But the reason why I use Google Classroom is I can take each lesson, and if I find a video or an experiment or a page on the internet that I would love for my son to use or look at, I can store that all right here. Just by hitting that add button, I'm able to add links, I'm able to add files, I'm able to add videos, and it's really just a nice, neat way to keep up with all those things, so I'm not scrambling to look for those things as we're doing the lesson. If you know anything about children, the minute that you flounder and you start wasting time, you lose them and they start doing other things, and we don't want to do that. We want our day to be as smooth and efficient as possible. So Google Classroom has totally helped me with that. I have a video that I'll link below that tells you how you can use Google Classroom in your homeschool in case you don't know. It's not just for classrooms, and if your kids are older, you could definitely send this to their device and they could open up and use it totally on their own. That's what's really great about it. Now, I do use this along with my son, but you could totally set this up for your kiddos to be very independent. That's what I love about Google Classroom. So, like I said, I'll link that video down below of how to use it. If you're familiar with Trello boards, it's kind of like that. But if it doesn't work for you, don't think you have to do Google Classroom. This is just something that I found has helped me as I have prepared and planned for my units. So definitely give that video a try just if you're interested. And if you have any questions about Google Classroom, let me know and I will definitely try to help you out. Now, before I go on that wild goose chase of finding my own resources, there's a couple of places I like to check. And the very first place I like to check is on the Gather Round Facebook community. If you go to albums, you're going to see every one of the units has its own album. All you need to do is click on the unit that you're doing, and you're going to find some resources. Now, let me say this. There are going to be a different amount of resources in each unit, depending on how many families have actually done the unit and what has been shared. Remember, these resources come from families like us who are doing the units. But I always go here and check. I click on each of the lessons and I see what has been shared, and I share things myself in order to help out other family members. So this is one of the first places I like to check for resources before I go out looking on my own. This Facebook community is an excellent resource. Check it out. Next stop in my planning process is the Gather Round app. If you are not a part of that yet, definitely go and download it, or I will put the link in the description box so you can access it from a desktop. You're going to want to go to join a community. You're going to click on year 1 or year 2, and you're going to find your unit. And from there, you can look in the chat to find all kinds of resources. It would be a good idea to tag the moderator so they can add those resources to the file, so they'll go in links and resources. Or you can just click on links and resources. There are things that will be in the general section, in the book list, and then you can search by week. And right now, this one looks kind of bare because it's brand new, but I know that you families are going to help add to this. So definitely use the app to help you with your planning process when it comes to these units. Now that I've shown you how I go ahead and get Pinterest set up, our Google Classroom set up, I'm checking YouTube, I'm checking the app, I'm checking the Facebook community, then I come and use this planning page. And what I like to do is write down what we're watching and what page it might go with. So when we get to that page in the notebook, there may be a video that may be helpful for us. So I'll just put the page number really quick. And then if we do any free mystery science lessons, I put that on there. So there is a free mystery science called How Do You Become a Great Inventor? And it comes with a really easy experiment, and I'll probably do that to open up the whole unit. So I'm excited about that. Another thing I like to write on here is grammar, because even though it has the reminders in there, I tend to forget. So I do like to put the grammar on there. And so far I've only planned the first 5 lessons, but I will use every bit of these little sheets. The other thing I like to do is, as I'm filling out that sheet, I go ahead and make a shopping list of things I need. And then I'm also writing down what we're going to be reading this time. So I just make a note up there so I can make sure I have those books. So I love using these planning sheets. They're super helpful, and they really help me get prepared to teach a Gather Round unit. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions about how I plan, leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.